Hello students, let's do an example just to practice. So we're going to make a board and let's shade some stuff in. Let's go like that and let's do that. Okay, so I wanna find out what the Rook polynomial is for this board. So I have to choose some tempting spaces to base this off of. So let me pick a space. So this is my board B. Let me pick a space. I'm gonna call this space A. Okay, might not be the best one. We'll see. Okay, but I know that R of B is going to be equal to, well, R of B without A. So let me draw that too, because it's not a trivial example. We don't want to make any mistakes. So we could even give this a name. We could call this C. So this is board C. So this is going to be, well, this is going to be R of B without A plus the Rook polynomial for the board with a Rook at A. Okay. So for this, I'm going to get R of board C. And for this, I'm going to get, let's see, if I were to get rid of A, well, not get rid of A, but put a Rook down here, what would I have? I'd have a 2 by 2 and a 1 by 1. So I'm going to put an X down because I'm placing a Rook. And I have a 2 by 2 and a 1 by 1. And notice that this 1 by 1 here, it shares no rows or columns with any of the remaining 4 squares. So this is just going to be a product, which is what allows me to do that. Okay. So now I want to find R of C. So let me put, I'll call that spot D. And I know that R of C is going to be, okay, well, R of C minus D plus R of C, well, without D because there's a Rook in D. So without D, what am I going to get? If I just have without D, I'm going to have a 2 by 3 and a 1 by 2. So this is going to be R of a 2 by 3 times a 1 by 2. Right, because I just don't have a Rook here, and once again, these are two boards that don't affect each other. Plus, okay, now I am putting a Rook in D, but I'm doing this now. And this is going to give me a 2 by 2 times a 1 by 1. So I get for my total, for my R of my board, it's going to be, well, I have R of C, which is this, plus this. Notice that this matches, right? So I'm just actually going to get this plus 2x. Let's see if I can squeeze this in here. Oh, almost. Okay. So now I can figure out what these are because this is going to be equal to, well, let me use this. I'll have some more space. So for this, I can either use the formula, or this is actually short enough that I can figure out what it is on my own, because for this 2 by 3 board, if I have 1 Rook, it's going to be 6. If I have 2, well, I have 3 choices for the first column and 2 for the second. So that's going to be 6x squared. And this, from my formula, is 1 plus 2x. And now for this, I'm going to have 2x times this, which we already computed. That's 1 plus 4x plus 2 x squared, and this, which is 1 plus a single x. So now all I have to do is compute this, and if I can compute it correctly, of course the sensible thing would probably be to do this by computer, but let's not be sensible and quickly try to do 2x plus 12x squared plus 12x cubed plus this. So let's do this part first. 2x plus 8x squared plus 4x cubed, 1 plus x. And now for this, I'm going to get 1 plus 8x plus 18x squared plus 12x cubed. And for this, I'm going to get 2x plus 8x squared plus 4x cubed plus 2x squared plus 8x cubed plus 4x to the fourth. And now I just combine terms. So that'll give me a 10x total, and for x squared, I'm going to have an 18, a 2, so that's 20, and an 8. So 28x squared. And then let's see, I have an 8, a 12, so that's 24. And then just a 4 at the end. And that is my final answer. That's equal to my original board. And if you look, this does make a lot of sense. I mean, maybe we can just check our work by sort of seeing if it even has any bearing on the problem, because sometimes when you do things wrong, you often get ridiculous answers. Not always, but often. So like for the 4, that should be an easy one to check, right? So I need to have one here, because I have to have one in the bottom row, and if I put it here, I'd have to stick 3 rooks there, right? So I have to have one here. So now I either have a rook here, which gives me 2 possibilities, or I have a rook here in this column, which would also give me 2 possibilities. So that gives me 2 plus 2, 4. Oh, that makes sense. Also check this, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That doesn't mean it's right, but at least it means that, hey, if I have a mistake, it's in here or here. But you can also check those, which take a little bit longer to compute, but also are not particularly hard as well. This is an example of a slightly larger problem where we're trying to find a rook polynomial.